Or does service delivery only happen when things break?
That is proactive.
So what is proactive service delivery? How do we start proactive service delivery?
I'm taking a non-IT example, an insurance company coming and telling you that you need to renew your premium. It's a proactive service delivery saying that, yeah, there's a sales pitch there, but proactively informing you or could be for your car so that you don't miss your insurance.
Yeah.
That could be a case of.
Yeah. So proactive service delivery, the better example would have been your preventive maintenance is a bit of proactive service delivery. But if you really need to do proactive service delivery, obviously we just went through the ecosystem of service delivery. It's very, very wide. Your customers, your stakeholders, your people, your services, understanding what the customer wants and what not always what he wants is what he needs, right? So in this complex ecosystem where you're struggling to even be reactive, and that's the truth of the matter, right? We are even struggling to be reactive. How can we be proactive?
One more dimension is, does proactive service delivery come at a certain cost?
It will.
So are we selling the right?
See, I think we need to factor. So sometimes we factor buffer resource in the project to meet the peak season. We'll tell the customer upfront, I am planning to have 2 or 3 buffer resource so that within the peak they'll be getting in the team and if someone goes on leave, they will manage.
Which is planning. This is proactiveness to some degree in terms of anticipating what is happening, right? So one important thing to start off with, manage what matters. Not everything requires management. You need to have a very clear view of what is it that the customer, what will impact the customer. So again, going back to the service view. So not every service that he needs is platinum. Have we gone and asked the customer, can you grade your service and let me know which of your applications and your physical business processes are platinum? Which are gold, what are silver, what is bronze? Can you get me that view? And once I have that view, I know where I need to do my tooling and instrumentation, where do I need to proactively have a look at stuff so that I'm able to manage
Solution changes.
Correct. So today what is happening is you are engineering everything in the same way. So the guy who handles a ticket, he has no clue whether the 5th ticket which is in his queue is what is burning the customer's estate or the ticket which I am handling today, because there is no service gradation. So one of the important things when you get into a customer negotiation as a service delivery manager is understand from him what is my service gradation. Are you able to classify my service? Right? And there was a typical example, I think this is for Lloyds, the guys were coming around, and they had 10,000 environments. And they had on people to manage these environments. And we said we have to do a tooling and instrumentation so that we are able to do it better. So all the proactive side stuff that you're talking about, can I notice things earlier? But I said there's a cost. Right? But do you really need all of them? Because some environments are test and development environments, right? And within test and development, some needs to be treated like production, some don't. Some requires very rudimentary monitoring. All I need to know is they are up or down. Some I need an event correlation. Do I know what? Do I be able to? That sets them thinking to say, yeah, maybe that's an idea. Maybe I know these regulatory programs that I'm running are the most important stuff, because that's what gets me to jail. You know, this is just a joke, because you ask the CEO to say, what's your most important priority for the year? And we say, not going to jail. Because if you don't do the regulatory programs, you will have a big compliance issue. Right? So all their change the bank sort of budgets were being diverted towards regulatory programs. It's a must do. So for he said it's very easy. For me that is my biggest priority. So that becomes my platinum. So any environment which is being touched by these programs are platinum. Fine. I can now manage what matters. Right? So you need to have a very clear service view for that. But if you're managing it at a box level, there is no way you can do it. I will still manage my database instance. For me, any database ticket is the same. So you have to go back to what we said. Can I elevate a technology view to a business view and be able to manage, then you become the proactive. Because then you go back to again that void example I was saying in the morning. That was a platinum service for me. I knew I was doing a webinar. I had elevated that service to platinum. I put all the monitoring in that place. I put the threshold in place. I was able to now know when before it broke down, and I was able to move from the reactive to preventive. Then I can. But only if I have a service.
In retail practice, there's a focused intelligence.
Yeah.
Correct.
But I think if you don't have it in some of your service, I think you should ask for it. You should say, can you give me, because it is theoretically impossible for every single application to have the same business criticality. It is not possible. Because otherwise you're putting your ecosystem under unnecessary strain, or you're diverting people in the wrong places. Fix before failure. Very simple answer. Right? But how effectively are we able to do that? And for it, you need to, the biggest problem here is not the fix. The bigger problem is the failure. Do we know what is the failure? In a lot of times in service delivery, we struggle not with the fix. We struggle with identifying the failure. Because we are not able to A, we are not able to diagnose. B, we are not able to comprehend. Because for me, bad job A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4 has failed. That's my symptom. It's like I'm having a fever. Whether I'm having a fever because of dengue, I don't know. Right? So, the problem is because I'm not able to identify the failure, I will still keep working on my symptoms. Right? So somewhere, whenever, if you have to fix before your failures, you have to know what is my typical failures. And sorry if I keep giving you banking examples because that's where I'm closest to the business, right? Or even I can give you, or let's give you a Marks and Spencer's example of the retail side. Now for me, the Marks and Spencer's guys know the biggest failure they can have is if that 4 a.m. batch does not run. Stores will not get information. And if stores will not get information, supplies will not come before 7 o'clock in the morning, the shop cannot open at 8. So I'm very, very clear. In my order of priority, what I should fix before it fails is that batch. Right? So it is not about whether my database or the middleware or the something has failed before it. And hence I have built a dependency tree to say associated with this batch is this application, right? So theoretically, let me just draw this up for you, and this is what you guys should also institute in your early warning systems. Is theoretically you will have a business process which has a number of quality gates. Riding below the business process is a set of applications. Associated with these applications are a set of infrastructure components, right? Whether it's a database, whatever, yeah, you've got a components. And associated with these components are a set of CIs, right? And I don't know whether you have seen, if you have not seen, go and see, they've got a dashboard, right? They've got a business dashboard, which basically says, at any time of the day, it will give you a red, amber, green color for this business process, depending upon all the cycles, all the stuff that works around this. So if this is somewhere called amber, you will see that it is an amber here, it is an amber here, it is a red here. That's what I need to fix, so that I'm able to get to that. So if I'm able to do this view, then I will be able to prevent a failure. If I do this view, I will not be able to prevent a failure. Right? Another example. So typically, what we do, so assume these are all infrastructure devices, right? and this is the clustering of my infrastructure devices by business process. I've just done some clustering. Okay. When I look at this like this, all I'm able to say is uptime. Right? So if my view was here, if I was looking at a business device at this point, and I say this is failed, I can only give you uptime. That server uptime is 95%, 96%, 98%. Right? When I'm looking at it like this, right? So these are the servers which are providing. So there's a web server which is providing all this. There are 3 web servers across it. I'm providing a web service. Right? If this fails, I still have some redundancy, which doesn't mean my business process should still be effective. I may have a slightly degraded performance, but my process is still active. Right? So by doing it like this, I'm able to give 2 parameters. I'm able to give health, I'm able to give availability, and I'm also able to define risk. At this point, all I'm able to define is availability. I do not know whether by looking at it like this, I'm not able to give a view, do I have any risk to my business? Right? I'm only able to say uptime is up, availability is up or down, this database is going up or down, is it got an impact on my business process? But if I clustered it, using the diagram before, into a model like this, I'm able to say what is the health of my service, what is the availability of my service, and is there a risk to my service, right? So if 2 of them fails, I may still not have a problem, but if all 3 of them fails, I have a risk, right? So you may have to be able to orchestrate. If you really want to be proactive in your service delivery, you will have to orchestrate what is your view. Are you monitoring it in a view like this, or are you monitoring it in a view like this? Which is then linked back to, do you understand the business process, or do you understand your CI? If you are in a model where all your orchestration is here, it is impossible to fix a failure, fix something before failure. But if you are in an orchestration like this, you can always fix before failure. Because there, the failure is not a CI failure, it is a failure of the business process. It is my ability to complete the batch at 5 a.m. in the morning. Right? Because I'm able to orchestrate this, even if I fix this in time, this won't fail. So that is the ability to be able to. So if you really want to get proactive service delivery, you need to be able to change the way you orchestrate your monitoring environment. And that is where your early warning systems have to be instituted.
So apart from banking capabilities, is there any customized tools that you use?
So potentially, I think what you do is say, I think this what do they call it? Marks and Spencer's, what they're developing, right? So you depending upon, you need a platform. Ultimately, all this can only be done if you're able to onboard this into a platform. Rational is one tool that we heavily use, and to be able to, because all you're doing in this, you're orchestrating the workflow. You're looking at what is my workflow, what are the dependencies of this workflow on the various things, and then you're trying to put an alert management on the respective task level. So if the task fails, you're trying to put a dependency of the task to the next level task and the workflow, and you're defining critical points to say how many of this should fail for me to make it into. So rational is one tool where we have done it. On target has been leveraged. Now with IPsoft coming in, you can do a lot of this on target as well. But you need to be able to get into this sort of a model if you really want to call yourselves proactive. Because it is not being me jumping onto the floor, because otherwise you go back to the first question, right? What is real proactiveness? It is proactive. That means you're proactive in your detection and you're proactive in your response. So unless you have an orchestration like this, you are not proactive in your detection. You could still be proactive in your response. Right? And what your first step said is, how do you become proactive in your response? Because you're managing what matters, you're proactive in your response. Make informed decisions. Right? So when you say informed decisions, you need a lot of tooling which tells you what is. So for instance, How, when I do see an issue coming in, I mean, how do I react to that issue? Do I have historical evidence which tells me whether this has happened before? Is it likely to happen again? What is the trend that I see for this issue? What is the business impact of this issue? How do I communicate back to the customer? You have to make a lot of informed decisions before you can act in a pure service delivery management.